What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I'm back with another review of Zatima. This is season 4, episodes 3 and 4, and let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so we actually see Zach and Fatima. They wake up from a nap because I think Zach had told her on the last episode she was going to get rubbed down or whatever. And Zach has to tell her that he has to go into the office because he has to go over some papers. Y'all, he's literally going over papers with Preston and Bryce. Them niggas is coming to dinner. I don't understand why they just couldn't bring the paperwork over. I get we trying to be real official, but be so for real. What is official about Zach? Not a damn thing, okay? So she wants to spend time with her man, but clearly he's like, no, I gotta go to the office, but I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna be back to help you with dinner. Now, Zach, he gets to the office, and we learned that Bryce was not trying to bring anything to this potluck. It's clearly supposed to be a potluck, which means bring a dish. But no, Bryce decided he's going to bring some expensive red wine. And he did say, well, I thought I could get away with this because black people don't be trusting everybody cooking. Sir, you're right. We don't be trusting everybody cooking, but you were literally invited to this cookout. Not a cookout. You were invited to this potluck. Therefore, you should be bringing a dish as well as the wine. So, Bryce, he ends up mentioning that he cooked for Angela. And I'm just like, wait, I thought she said that she was going to be cooking something to eat. Okay, so I guess you took over. And Zach is like, what's going on with you and Angela? And Zach feels like Angela is playing Bryce. Once Bryce is like, well, I went over there and did this for her. I went over there and did that for her. And basically, we also learned that Angela had this man sleep over her house because she was scared. And now he's starting to feel like he's been played because he's talking to Zach. And here's my thing. My only thing about this whole Bryce and Angela thing is, I'm over it. She don't want that man, so I don't even understand why this is still a storyline. Because then we have to suffer through Zach trying to coach Bryce on how he needs to handle and talk to Angela. Now, I will say, I did laugh when he was like, he got hoes on all foes. I said, now do you, sir? You're doing a lot right now. But I don't know. I just hate this storyline of the back and forth between Angela and Bryce when it's clear she don't want him. So, Preston, he ends up showing up. And now we learn that there's a commercial property that they're interested in getting. Now, everyone is down for it, but Preston is like, I feel like race may come into play with this because, Zach is black, Bryce is Asian, but y'all know, sometimes white people, they don't mind an Asian, but a black man, it's really going to be a problem. So Preston is like, we got to come in, with good numbers and all this stuff. And we see Fatima then. She's at home. She's trying to, bring in the groceries, and she calls Angela. Now, she is stressed out because she got to do this dinner by herself. We learned that this whole thing was supposed to be Fatima having a dinner for the guys, okay? However, it's a potluck. Nonetheless, we learned that Angela is coming because Bryce invited her. And this means that Angela is probably going to cook something because Bryce was not trying to. Moving on from there, y'all, we see Nate. He's clipping his nasty ass toenails at Belinda's house. Now, she's ready for him to get the fuck up out of her house. And I don't blame her. Nigga, we don't go together that bad. You can go ahead and leave. Go back to your wife. So she starts throwing his stuff around, and she tells him that he gotta go. So where does he go? To the barbershop. And Tyrone is telling him, dude, you need to go fix things with your wife. And Nate, he's over here like, nah, Tony, can I stay here? Can I stay with you? And Tony's like, nah. So then Tony, I think it was Tyrone, not Tony. Tyrone was basically telling Nate that to fix everything with his wife, basically he just needs to have sex with her. And I'm like, you know what? That is one thing that frustrates me about television and how this influences people in real life. On TV shows, all you have to do is have sex with the person and everything is fixed. And I'm just like, no, that is not how any of that works. Some of this shit needs valid conversation. Nate, you don't want to be with your wife no more. Have a conversation with that lady. Don't just sleep with her and then be like, oh yeah, everything's cool. Water over the bridge. Ooh, that shit pisses me off. But nonetheless, because I'm sorry, y'all, Tyler Perry shows, they do that shit bad. Every time it's an issue, as long as you humping on somebody, all right, the issue went out the window. No, it didn't. The issue is still here. Anyways, Nate ends up leaving. Tony ends up asking Tyrone to close up the shop. And Tyrone is questioning if Tony is okay. And Tony feels like, he's a bit guilty for everything that went down. I'm like, what the fuck went down? Y'all, we learned that when Tony not took that man's life, but when Tony had that guy run up in the shop and he was trying to rob him, I guess Tony ended up killing the man. But I'm just so confused because I'm like, damn, I thought maybe the gun had jammed or something. I don't know what I thought, but I don't recall the gun going off. Maybe it did. But I'm just like, so when did this happen? Where's the gunshots? Is it bullet holes in the barbershop? I'm confused because then Tyrone is like, I made everything go away. You ain't got to worry about it. What did you make go away? Did y'all bury this man somewhere? Y'all, what's going on? What is that storyline? Because I don't understand it. Maybe somebody can explain to me in the comment section. We jump over to Zach and Fatima. Again, she's stressed out. She trying to cook. And he didn't even pick up the right seasonings for her. So they end up talking about Bryce and Angela. And Zach mentions how, Bryce finally about to set her straight. And Fatima like, what do you mean set her straight? And of course, she is going to have Angela's back. And Zach is like, how are you cool with her using all these dudes? And I'm just like, hold on, Zach. Hold on. It's the fact that you're saying that she's using all of these dudes. What exactly do you know about Angela? That's the first thing. Secondly, here's the thing. Bryce forever volunteered his services. He is forever volunteering his services. Angela, you need that? Oh, I can do that for you, Angela. Oh my God, Angela. He continues to do that every time we see that man. So, baby, if you want to help me out, I ain't going to turn down the help, nigga. Come on now. So, Fatima, she is rebuttaling what Zach says. And she is like, no, these guys are using her. Here's the thing. Everybody using each other around these parts, okay? And she does end up telling Zach that he don't need to be giving no bad advice. Well, baby, you said that a little too late because y'all know how Zach is. So, we then see Zach and Fatima, as well as Bryce and Angela, they're all in the kitchen together, right? Because they've arrived. And she ended up making spaghetti. I said, y'all. Since when did spaghetti go with gumbo? Y'all gonna be on the toilet in the morning. I'm sorry. Spaghetti and gumbo? That red sauce with all that seasoning in that gumbo? No, That is not a combo. I'm sorry. That is not a combo that should be eaten together. I'm sorry. Nonetheless, Angela ends up mentioning how she wished that Bryce would have told her earlier, what to bring. Or no, I think she said she wished he would have gave her a heads up about coming to this. And I don't know why his response was, well, I bought the ingredients and you just made the dish. Sir, you're doing a lot. You are doing a lot right now. This is not what you thought it was going to be giving, okay? So then Deja shows up in Preston. I'm like, why are we doing this? What the fuck is happening? Y'all, then after that, we jump over to seeing Jeremiah getting high and calling out his mama name. He over here hallucinating and he see her in the hallucination. We did not need that scene. I'm sorry. I don't need to see Jeremiah no more. Unless we really about to push this story. Moving on. So episode 4. Fatima is pissed that Deja is at her house. And Deja has the audacity to be like, well, Preston, do you want me to leave? Because Fatima keeps saying, get out my house. You got to leave. I'm sorry. I get that Preston made the gumbo. But in that moment, I probably would have been like, all right, you can leave the gumbo, but Preston, you can go with your girl. Because at this point, you should have already known that Fatima don't like this girl. Like, how do you not know that? Like, Zach has to literally step in and tell Deja to leave, right? out of nowhere, Deja is like, oh, I was going to tell you about my doula services. And then Fatima's like, yeah, I've been looking for one of those. Y'all, this makes no fucking sense. As protective as Fatima has been over her pregnancy and trying to, keep a cool head and keep her baby, considering all of the things that have happened to her so far, why the fuck would she let Deja, of all people, near her baby? She wouldn't even let that girl near her stomach. What the fuck was that scene? Y'all, I'm tired. I get it. Y'all don't know what to do with Deja's character, but baby, this ain't it. Moving on. At dinner, they talk about this commercial property and how it's going to be hard to get the property. And how it's always unfair to, especially black people who are trying to get into real estate. So Bryce is really sitting here trying to act like race does not play a part of how Zach will be treated in real estate. And Fatima has to explain to him that, Zach has to work so hard. He has to work 10 times harder than everybody. I said, now, Zach working 10 times harder since when? When that happened? But nonetheless, she does also say that Zach has to care about things like discrimination because it's very common in real estate. Bryce, he does end up apologizing. But I still think that comment about Zach working 10 times harder and how he's so hardworking was one of the craziest statements that I heard. Because I said, when does he work? We've yet to see him do anything. So then we learned that Preston, he's saying at the table how he's emotionally unavailable for Deja. My whole thing is Preston definitely seems like he's not interested in her. And what I don't want the writers to do is have him be uninterested in her, then out of the blue, they get together. Because it's like, no, because that means that nigga still don't want you. Like, you just something warm to lay up in. No, thank you. We don't want to see that. And I don't want it to be like, oh, Deja grew on him. Cut it out. But at the same time, Angela says that she is emotionally unavailable as well. Oh, why she say that? Because now Bryce is big mad. So he's like, oh, I'm not going to change your air filters. Baby, at this point, both of y'all are using each other. She's using you to do things around her house, and you're using her because you want to be her man so bad. Like, it's very clear he wants a relationship with this girl, and she don't want him in that way. I don't know how many times a person got to turn you down. Like, I think they ended up apologizing to each other, and Preston, again, says that he don't want Deja. And then we also learned that Deja ain't no damn doula. We should have known that. I don't understand how Fatima didn't use her damn brain. I get it, she's pregnant. But, like, girl, I don't understand how you did not use your brain to be like, how in the world would Deja, of all people, be a doula? Be so for real. But moving on. Now, y'all, I did laugh when they were talking about how Deja can leave and take her food with her. And Bryce was like, yeah, I thought those croquettes were coasters. I said, coasters? So dinner is over, right? And y'all, why do we see the copycat, a.k.a. Leslie, peeking through the windows? I'm like, how the fuck is nobody seeing this girl peeking through these windows, okay? She out there outside fighting with herself, saying that Fatima is with her friends. Girl, what? What friend? Y'all, this is so ridiculous. We then see Leslie call Malachi, and we learned that they broke up 4 months ago. And she's like, oh, it's because of her. It's because of Fatima. Y'all, the fact that both of them are obsessed with Fatima is a bit too crazy for me. So she ends up popping up at Malachi's job. She all up in the parking lot. And this girl walks up pregnant. I'm like, oh my God. The way she is copying Fatima is crazy. Now, he's telling her, like, that's not my baby. And she's like, this is your baby. This is your baby. Y'all, can we be honest? We don't give a fuck about Leslie or Malachi, okay? They serve no purpose on this show. But we gotta suffer through it. He's talking about he want to get the baby tested. She's yelling about how she could be Fatima for him. This nutcase is just doing too much for me. All this hollering in the parking lot. For what? It's bad enough. We then see her go home. She shows that she's taken off the fake belly. And this girl has a whole collage of Zatima pictures on the wall. Baby, my only question is, girl, why are you in that twin size bed? Are you in your childhood home? What is this? We jump back over to Zatima and Zach. So Zach is over here. He got his face in the place with Zatima. And baby, he can't see around her belly. I can't lie, I was laughing. So she's over it. She's not in the mood anymore. And he's like questioning if she's mad that he didn't help her today. And it's like, yes. I don't even understand why you're asking that dumbass question. Like, Zach is so frustrated. He's so frustrating. And he's talking about how moving forward, he's going to be working more. Working where? Y'all, I cannot stand Zach's character. Like, I really used to like Zach, y'all, because he was trying. At this point, this man ain't tried at all. And we just feeding him bullshit to say to Zatima. I'm over it. I'm really over it. So then, we then see little Miss Copycat. She has a camera set up in Zach and Fatima's house. She over there touching the cat because Zach hitting Zatima. I'm like, what is this? Like, what are we watching? Like, this whole story is dumb. So then, we then see a moment, y'all, of Zach and Zatima and Michael, right? Because I've been wondering, where the hell is Michael? In the driveway. The police show up, and Zach, he doesn't want to give up his son, but they're like serving him papers. What bothered me though, y'all, that man didn't even look at them fucking papers. He just handed them straight to Zatima. And I get it. She's studying law. But nigga, they're addressed to you. She's looking over the paperwork or whatever. They're telling him like, hey, we need to go ahead and take your son from you for a little bit. And he's like, no, I'm not giving him my son. Zatima looks over the paperwork, tells him, you need to go ahead and let your son go. Y'all, we see him say goodbye, and then he wakes up in bed with Zatima. So I'm just wondering, was this just a dream, or do you actually not have custody of Michael, and this was a flashback? Because at this point, 4 months have gone by, and we don't know where that child is. Y'all, what the fuck? I'm really trying with Zatima, and I'm trying with Sisters. But these two shows, I don't even know how they can get better at this point. Is it too far gone, or am I tripping? Y'all let me know what y'all thought about it. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to y'all in my next review. Bye, guys.